I just saw my 24th birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah, you can give it up. You can give it up. You can give it up. Hey, man, we beat the statistic.
True.
Right? They say what? It's by like the 21 or wherever, 22 men of color, children of Jacob. You're either in jail, you're either not breathing, either dead. Right? So we beat the statistic. And I owe it all to this nation.
Amen. Amen.
So I just want to give thanks to elder, the priesthood, everyone, aunties and uncles. So with that being said, I feel like I'm kind of getting old. I feel that way. Right? Because you start to look back, and when you're like Tamar's age, you're like, by the time I'm 24, by the time I'm going to have this, that, car, house, this, that. When in reality, you're 24, you're still living with your mom, your dad, still, hey, mom, you got some change, I'll get you back next week, right? So it is what it is. So you're not there yet. You still have a long way to go. You're still young, but I feel like time is going by so quick, and I just remember yesterday I had my third cycle feast. I was 21 like a couple days ago, it feels like, right? So I took this week to kind of just reflect and think, and as you're getting older, you start to think like, what am I here for? What's my duty? What's my purpose? Am I here to just take up space and warm up seats? Am I here to just, come and play drums and go home? Or buy a couple patties and go home, right? You start to think like, what do I really have to do? Why am I really here? What were we put on this earth to do? Now, I think by now we have a general idea of what it is we're supposed to do, right? Well, if you don't, then there's a problem, right? So we read from Genesis to Revelation is about the Israelites, how we started, where we ended up, what we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do. So we have a general understanding. A couple things here and there we might not completely understand, but we have a general understanding of what it is we're supposed to do, right? Now, as an Israelite, what is your duty? What are you supposed to do tomorrow? What is your job as an Israelite, growing up in this world, in today's society? What is your job?
Just to follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
Okay, that's one aspect, but there's more to it. Uncle Elvis.
Blow the trumpet.
You sound the trumpet. What else? Andrew, I haven't seen you in like 8 months. Probably more. 8 months is being nice. Yes, it's being nice.
But he was here to feast.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen him in the lesson,
To spread the word of the kingdom of God.
Right? Anyone else they want to add on to it? We have a general understanding what we're supposed to do, right? Fear God, keep His laws, but why is it so hard? Right? I was talking to Elder Michael earlier, and you look on the TV and everything's all because we're black. It's because we're black. It's not because we're black. It's not because we're black. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can pass, but... No, I can't pass? No?
It's our mindset.
Well, explain. What do you mean?
Our stumbling block is our greatest weakness, our greatest strength, our mind, right? We can do anything we put our mind to it. If things are important, we'll get it done. But if the other side wants to throw in rebellion, anguish, pain, regret, and we get wound up, we're bound. We're bound by that, and then we can't get anything done.
I hear you. I agree. Now, what I find is we know what we're supposed to do, right? And the more we run away from it, this is the world of Google and Instagram, and everything's out there. The knowledge is out there, right? You can people know. You go on Google, you type in Israelites, there's a long list of the Jews today are not the Israelites. So the world of information everything is at our fingertips today, right? So there's no excuse. Now, given the fact that a lot of us know, and I feel like even in society, children of Jacob in general, a lot of them are starting to wake up a little bit. I find even though that is the case, they still run away from what it is they're supposed to do. us as a nation, we run away what it is we're supposed to do. We are given the laws, statutes, commandment, given through Moses. This is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do, but yet we still reject it and run away from it. And you ever find that when you reject that what's meant for you or what's given to you, things end up worse? Right? Story of Jonah is a perfect example. Jonah, go to these people in Nineveh, tell them about me, tell them the way to walk, tell them things that I need you to tell them. You're supposed to be a light unto this world. You're supposed to be the teacher. Right? Jonah's like, I don't know, God. I don't like these people. They're nasty. I just don't like these people. You know, sometimes you got to go and deliver a message to a coworker, and you're like, I don't like this person. Let me just go tell Irene over there that so-and-so said this, right? But it's your job. You're told, go tell them what to do. Right? So Jonah said, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can skip out on this one. So let me go and hide somewhere. Right? I'm gonna go on a ship. And it's funny because do you think that the God of Israel, knowing all, doesn't know, like, where are you going to hide? Where are you going to hide, really? Right? So you have a job to do. Go and do your job, Jonah. And I kind of apply it to my own life. It's like, don't run away, because these scriptures are for us to learn, right? To be an example, so we don't repeat these and end up worse than we are right now. So listen to what you're supposed to do. Do your job. Don't run away. So Jonah decides to run away. We all know the story. You guys can fill it in. Right? The ship. He had to throw off the ship. Swallowed by the whale. I believe it was...
Question.
Yeah.
You just said something about Jonah and that we don't think that the God of Israel would know that because he knows all that we are on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that common sense goes out the door at that time also? Because normally you would think he knows all, he's there, but a lot of the time when we run, then common sense is, do you think that's also removed from us?
Common sense?
Like,
Well, common sense is not that common when you really think about it. Because something like that is like, well, you know he's the creator of all. Right? So why even... I don't find common sense is even really that common today. You know what I mean? So to say common sense goes out the door, I mean, who's to say? I believe so. I believe so, because if you really know that he's the creator of all and he sees all, knows all, like, where do you think you're going to go? What do you think is going to happen? Out of all?
I think that we are a people who sometimes we don't think before we act.
Mm-hmm.
We act and then we think after.
Right.
We're stubborn people.
Mm-hmm.
Things like, you know what I mean? We just have our mind. We just have our mind of our own, and we just feel that we can just do whatever we want to do, and then the consequences come after.
Perfect example of that was, the splitting of the Red Sea. We just went through the Red Sea. What happened shortly after? The calf. Like, it was literally yesterday. The water's still fresh on your face. But then, so there's something, there are things working against us, but the scripture also says that, the God of Israel won't give us something that we can't bear or we can't handle. Right? So temptation will always be there. Right? So I just want to touch a little bit on Deuteronomy 10. Deuteronomy chapter 10. And I feel like what it is the God of Israel doesn't really ask a whole lot from us. It's not really that hard. Right? If we go to Deuteronomy 10, we'll jump to verse 12.
I'm going to read it.
Oh, you're going to read that as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sabbath, you read that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Deuteronomy 10. 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Period. Right? So we read it right there. It's not a whole lot. Serve the God of Israel with all your heart, all your soul. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. It's not a hard thing to do. I feel it isn't. But like I said, there are things out there that may sometimes cloud our judgment at times. But like I said, the God of Israel doesn't give us something that we can't bear. If we skip over to 1 Corinthians, I know it's a lot of jumping. You got to flip all the way to almost the end. But we can jump to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Oh, verse 12 again. Chapter 10, verse 12. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So he's not going to give us something that we can't handle, because he knows our hearts. He knows man. He's not going to give us something that we're not able to fulfill. And you got to think too that if we don't fulfill it, then how can we be a light unto the rest of the world? How can we teach other people about our God? Right? We're supposed to be a royal priesthood, right? So if we're not upholding our own duty, how can the others be saved? They say saved through grace. We are not saved through grace, right? We have the laws, statutes, and commandments that we have to uphold. My dad was talking last week about the oath and the covenant. We're under that covenant, that contract, right? We have something to fulfill. And if we don't fulfill that, then no one else can be saved. Right? So we're under the covenant. We're under the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not saved by grace. You hear a lot of that, by grace, and, he loves us all. We're not saved by that. Right? If you jump over to Galatians. Galatians 5. We'll read from 1 to 3. Actually, we'll just read from 2. So it says here, Behold, I, Paul, say unto you that if you be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. So it's our obligation. So we can't run from it. Right? We see time and time again that we can't escape it. Our very state that we're in today is because we tried to run from the word of the God of Israel. So we can't hide. Right? You can't run. You can't hide. What's that song they sing in The Journey? Anyone can help me out? Run, run, run.
Oh, run.
Run. Yeah, that's my favorite song. And the whole. Yeah. We can't hide. We can't run. We can't hide. Right? Nowhere. There's no hiding place. So you just got to accept it and say, you know what? I was chosen by the greatest God there is. It is an honor and a privilege. Let me just do what I got to do, because he put me here for a reason. Right? And if I don't do it, then the world is going to go down. The world revolves around Israel.
That's true.
The world revolves around us. So we don't upkeep our end of the bargain, right? Then, hey man, good luck to everybody else. Because through us is grace. Through us they are saved. Right? So just want to leave with that message today, is that we are a chosen people. Uphold it. It is an honor and a privilege. Don't look at it as a burden, but as a blessing. Right? And try not to repeat the mistakes. For this book is just a life lesson. The blueprint to life is in this book. If you read it from front to back, it tells us what to do, what not to do. And just try to apply it into our own lives. Because we live in a world today where it's hard to be in it but not of it. Right? You have friends who are not here, Your surroundings is not, we're here like once, twice a week. If we're lucky, sometimes 3. So it's hard to be in the world but not of the world. So that's what we got to try and do. Yes, Andrew.
Can you give some keys or tips that ground you?
Keys or tips that ground me?
Yeah. What keeps you solid?
Well, number one is I know that I was born here, so there's nowhere else for me to go. And a lot of the guys that grew up with, like my brothers, and that I don't really see them as much today. And I speak to a lot of them, and a lot of them talk to me and say, I wish that I can kind of rewind and just go back to the days when we were doing lessons and teaching. So that kind of keeps me grounded here, where I know there's nothing better out there, right? Because people have the experience. Sometimes you don't have to go out there and touch the stove to get burned. Sometimes you just watch people and observe and say, hey, all right, so I saw what that person went through, and I don't want to do that.